ana say na de kwan da ho. A simple question with simple answer. Fangwa a free OMCs no edical pumps no no. O make me buwa konta pepe de ama oban o chinna bi report to be ankonko ba me anko ka say within the shortest possible time no aban na boka ana because aban adwuma no ye me ame dia na me papa dia ana Ghana ni bia no ankasa ni business a question is would you allow that thing to happen ana obema kwama sadness yana would you say from Tuesday no GRFI yen hyehyeye na ebo ho ban na o man ni hrisika bia dia fine o say ye nyina ye ni asem kan omumla bonti me kan kye ye e me kire mu se de be na o kire bi report bi kokko pie saa Ghana fo hu de be kan ye kan ye hu nipa ye be kan de a kire no obian kan say mema state institution nye nadwuma. Nobody have said that. Obian kan say nemo adwuma ne ye ya ye dimane se ye nye no kwan paso na mfa so mre o man ye nye no kwan e sefata so na mfa so emfa emre o man questions anyumre me bisa enu bi eno no ti jarefo mon ya no mfa maye se mu na mugina me ene metiefo anam mahwefo anam Ghana fo anam e sign sa contract no enti enei strategic mobilization for mu da so eye adwuma no pepe se the contract ne tie no ana so wo mu nya adwuma so mu fidie no mu de adwuma ne nya ne asa ko no mu ntimi hwe fango na efi OMCs no ko pumps no won na enjeje aban to das no nyemfa Ghana government e emfa nye hwehwe kwan yemfa provide street light yemfa maye yemfa maye supa nya hyehyɛ papa ma me nya so mfa so dia. I need to ask questions. I have every right to ask questions, legitimate questions. And when here papa abusia higher boiling point so on Oman FM 107.1 so and ya wada jumbo some that also edu me no media den sempera imadamatif sam ya edekono meda wasese wadwen ye na onso so ode wadwen kire ebeba ebekọ Facebook na afi yakọ YouTube nso ne akenkan mo messages na wo no na yetumi ede amam papa na afi yetumi akọ yenim enti mekọ na afi kwekwa na me me guest na ye international afi no ye eni nkomo Duncan aba be kamensa Duncan manya e wo hanom a ye ne no eba be hye enkomo na ase na afi abejafo aka no nyina nso no ye no omadi nkomo ha ayo man 107.1 adwumadi no ayo boiling point.
Shaping the nation. Oh man.
Tewusema memo akwaba bimu na fe yeni enkomodanka be kamita danka akwaba
yenia
bibia boko de
onyame adom ne atiefo mpa be onyame kopon aso yim
yentinsim nansa na no C4C liver specialist hospital se memo kase anyume se uyobia wa consume caffeinated beverages ahodo bi ma kofa hawo etime e de abro kwanko yade na ba be hye wo so say ye BP ana say diabetes yade no obi a hepatitis A B C D E hawadwen a be say o kidney na bo modern ya say o liver na oba obodin so oba o maso ya obehwe na wono matime to ase ma ho atime to won also the Indian based C4C liver tonic e de aba so no so akwala opani opemfo abrowa obi a etime enum bi wo machi akwa no doson obi won takwa de takwa Prestia Cape Coast adenta temako forudia kuma se kaso amanka sim tachiman ho aguna swedru ene Ghana miami ahodo ni na frɛ wono mo wo 050 050 0500 040 331 and I said 0500 4040 sorry 328 mamintimu biom fama 0500 040 331 and I feel 0500 040 328 so na wonomo emwa na wonsa enka ayarhwe na ho so ho entime ento Franco Trading Enterprise na nyimre wodi mobile phones papa e dia ba adwamas home appliance papa no kona so ya ubenya nyina ebi ewo honomo watete niama ne bo no so akokopem 40% enti discount da so no no so ukokotop yes we na afiso am sika no uto niama no ne papa no na osanso anya sika bete e de ahye obotom frɛ no e 0246 422 338 0246 422 338 and that's 0555 939 311 so na one more emo Duncan yanko
yes empera me da say na me fa kwanya we so na me nchia oma FM atiefo nyina you see so over radio na be kasa na say wonya obi maniti wa ya no nyam hwe kase pa because nipa na bubi e me fa kwanya nchia me boss ona boda ne na kwa me ado Kenneth the MP4 Okre na me nchia Okrefo nyina Eastern Region MP4 nyina na me nchia MP4 wo Ghana nyina me fa nchia kase ma Honorable Kennedy accompany ko Kwame Japan me nchia His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ene MPP mpanyifo nyina Okrefo nyina tio omo me ma amoni yopa na omo tio pa radio ne de bia o man FM ane da
medam ase
nsempewura ma yenye nyankopon adwuma me ba makrasa mbe yenye nyankopon adwuma mpanyifo se patapa pieto
de mra na woro
ena fe opanyi bitnas na efe no kremo na sa panyi na adwuma o ya ne se oye aduro enti se wo ba yare na se wo ba na ebia anye yi a obefimu a na kremo ama na aduro na oba no botumi abɔ ne ho ban enti kremo agidin won mpeso aso to the extent se obia ne ba ba yare bia de no kɔhwɛ ekɔma kremo na kremo ahwɛ no na mama na aduro na ne ho atɔ no na kremo ankasa ba ayare ena kremo ntumi ansa ne ba ne yare ena kremo ba na wu enti kremo se osa oba yare na se anye ye na oba ne fima na onu mo wa hye nkura na wa ka che se o dark na be ye you shedding ma komanto yem na kremo ankasa ba wu ena se si o ma ye o hye omden no o mo hia na o mo ye ne kremo dark na o mo ye no rough kremo dark na o hye o ma o se abasa embasa anka se nyame ba na wu anka wo ne hwan ena wo be ma me kremo dark na nzembewura panyifo se nya da wo be fa bo ato atwa ensio fra no na obeti se wo obeti ye oya me ban mete se na obo hono abo kwamna minta akanda apart from politics we politics mu na the last position we kura e won the life mu dining hall prefect intimi enya me ho hono abo kwamna minta akanda se time Akufo-Addo ye president no o say minister eye kwamna kwaku agimamanu minister o say oye incompetent na ne modembo e wo fem pa e kan ya ka say sa health sector workers no anka sa wo aban ne dwen Ghana for ho a you should deal with their issue with alacrity bro focus me ya kan alacrity na je say wo de America wo de ahopre na che say won to bo ase o mampamrika na de na esi wo se chadwuma ase a ama your friends and tubanda na de so na fi suru bete bayira homa mu a bayira mba kese nsembewura o se in the year from 2021 to 2023 no na nurses for mafi Ghana because of conditions of service 69,000.
Okay.
And then the other nurses. What has changed? Okay, to the extent or say when it comes to matters of health, the government must move with alacrity. He said the government must respond to the issues of the health personnel. Or see any reasonable government will engage them and plead with them to go back to the health facilities. Or say abaya na adwin eye adwuma enye ma asemo abaya na adwin ye adwuma abaya wo nimdi abaya wo onim nyansa bia no one nurses for betna obepa omocho na waka cho mo so omo de omo nkwa ye adwuma no mo ye adwuma no oguso eye obomoden se saa ensem a enti omo se omo strike no one ombeka ho asem. Isabella, this same Kwamna Mita Kando no. And now wako jina simpie so. Every retired nurses for say, you know no more mo strike. Munja mo. Ya suso mo so ache. Inti omo sorry omo din se mu de omo pe bia no mo ye. Munja mo na retired nurses for mo bra na mo fa madwuma mo be boye. Then they see wo se chedwuma se atumpayanda. Isabella, you see, under the 8 years of Akufo-Addo government, there was no single case of reference and nurses for Moko strike. A full-blown strike. A BNC da. Akufo-Addo amamu. NDC for the only situation na a strike nukra anche nukra no na a laboratory staff na enye Ghana Registered Nursing and Midwifery Association for the cause strike no. But just under 6 months. Just less than 6 months in government. The same preaching now, preaching will be a year. And I already preach will muma years. Just under 6 months. Obia betranso 8 years. Abone humodia to the extent say, and even under the 8 years, there was this the serious COVID situation. Abaini to me kunya. O tuya nurses for incentives. E tuya musika say den e show mase anase e so mase e show munkura no mutumi your majuma. We paid all of these things and we made sure say nurses for on strike. Under 8 years there was no single case of nurse for on strike. But just less than 6 months nurse for on strike. Now in summer who woman say you see and the nurse for on strike. You have NDC journalists Johnny Hughes at TV, national television, so say, nurses for no more strike no crowd, munjamo na ya so mo so ache. Nurse for no crowd man pass exams, bebre, echo school no man to me and pass exams. Na enye nurse na non person mo kwa yesa and say, o man pass exams, ninti no mo bofa, friends and nurse in honum no. Na oh bome, misu na wa san katamano. As if that wasn't enough. Johnny Hughes a Canadian. Or Hineba. Or SYZ TNZ mokan or say nurses for no oma bodam etie for mo fan cheme or say nurse for no oma bodam they are mad na so man show mu omusu here nya or say onu kwa wanka say oma show musu or say God should kill them nyankopon ku omo eh na onu ya nurse and I say because of the politics of convenience Mahama ya presidenti nurse for striker nyankopon ku mo na sa na nyankopon ya adwuma sa na nyankopon ya adwuma de anka nurse for no friends teacher for nyina wu nsempawura you see these are very serious issue na okanya koto aso say na your friends Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association mo president no wanya entie say watu kwa amanone na ni plane na ode beba Ghana no and the airport no ma ombo modern say plane be akosi no ni fie enye saa ombe hia no airport ho threaten say omo de omo sabe keka no omo pia na we a na we pia na mawe na we pia na mawe omo pia na saa ombe gya na akofie no no ankasa obi nka nchen say ono ankasa onko ba bi no onko pay your friends ayarehwe nsempewra
senior
bria meko school Ebenezer Senior High School dance my wakra no. Na me call First Love Service at University of Ghana campus. Na kolebu honum no na nursing training college bi wo ho. Inti nurses for bebre wo ho and omo ka your friend say First Love Church no hunti Sunday bia ye kwa sorry a ye pon na ye ba no mu tu yemfo no mu ka che adwuma obeye. And one of the nurses no e ka che yen say na danfo bi ni colleague bi ne boni a oye ya ne say ye di obi aba ya hwa bia say omo hwe no na nurse for gloves na omo treat omo patients no ye obi wo hwa short and obi wo hwa long, but esanse na long na sanity they were forced to use the short one.
Okay.
Na say na patient no a retro patient, you can retro patient a patient sebe when you HIV. And oko you see short your friend saying gloves ni bi. And no odi wura sebe odi wura patient na say. Na odi wura na say na cat bebre. And no so na wound e won nsa ho. And na onya contact. That was the beginning of HIV/AIDS for the nurse. Nurse ni a on nye boni biaye. Onko ya ade bia etumi warranty say anka onya AIDS. Na esane say occupational hazard adwuma wa fa to no ho so say oye service to humanity and God inti so ye adwuma amanipa eni nyankopon inti na wa fa mu akonya HIV. Nzempera
enia
yesi anka manko tuaka ode ka mu abafi na sadness ni we eno na mehwe nurse ni bi wo TV so na oka omo nsem no osu nsempera nurse ni tumi call a friend say na adwuma okwa adwuma na o adwuma mu na onya accident in the line of duty na adwuma na jano na adwuma na hwe no sa say ombra fie no no ankasa be den embe hwe no no nsa no ho yare there's no conditioner say aban anase adwumakuo no e wo kwan anamu bia ye de ato hɔ a ye de den ye de hwe sa nipa no.
Senior.
So these are the challenges, the daily challenges of these nurses. You see, say, unza uyonku na baju eshia. Usensu ya na udi esi udi yehu.
Yesi kwa men sensu mo.
Fa udi ya nishemu.
Kwa bi ahun prepare na onsa ko kan so no hwe
Na
jana. Yes. Tifa num.
Inti sepebra. You see, say ye ebi mu in their line of duty. COVID baye ebi mu amuko ye contact tracing omo tena friends COVID patient ho e contact COVID ni bi wu mu obi ne papa yare esan so wo duty nti ni patient ehia nti ono ankasa ne papa yare e se okohwe ne papa na ne mame anane ne kunu anane ne baby no adwuma ne mra ne chese esese otena ne patient no make sure say be treating the patient no na wagya ne papa na ne papa fi mawu. Is a better?
Yeah.
Sir, these are the everyday plight. And you say, you see once in a blue moon. These are the everyday plight of the nurses. And nurse ni ekwa juma, otumi kwa juma, ekwa tranwa ahumachi, not ye juma. And these people, every blessed day, they get in touch with trauma. Obi bewu, send your best situation, your best famu, obi accident patient, moja jareno. Me kuro me we de men kan abusuanfo ya o anwumre bi be 10 o'clock ye wo hwa nipa mbro bia bobituo memma dwane memma edwane na ye di nipa we akọ hospital na nurse ni aba be hia nipa no moja etu no na nurse ni akohia nipa no na nurse for we omuboni omoye ya ne say they chose a career ne chere say service to humanity and God say omosum nipa na omasum nyankopon ti. A lot of classical cases are nurses for afamu isabara in cases bebrea nurses for afamu and you obatia sometimes nurse ni na busuani biaba na obe holy no me mama wu aso no no hwe ne mama ono no be ma ne mama ewu. Some people get abused every day in their line of work because of what you see a juma or ye juma e dia boa nipa e dia boa gananti. Now they get abused every now and then in their line of duty. Now next for a complaining say omoni abanya transi and they had a gentleman's agreement somewhere as far back as April 2024. And because of some court case, they couldn't go ahead with the payments. na ya negotiation nyina wie na dia aka say ye be ye ne say ye betuo mu na ye nuanum NDC fo aba na kwamna minta kando say at one interview ye bisa ne say kwamna minta kando, are you the ranking member on the health committee of parliament? Or say yes. Na ususu say health minister kwakura jimemanu ni bobre no ususu say yenya ne den yen sakina na say ye yi na dia e simple ye ka say ye yi na dia e simple na che say ye dia che no kra na ye yi na di no kra dia it is the simplest of the equation. And na dia den na see what has changed. Nsempera den na sisa unim the internet for no eco strike no
that be catching
yeah agreement with the previous government somewhere April 2024 and issue no court. There was this group from some professional psychiatric group B say the conditions of service na yedema Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association no omo bo njosunti omo di asem no court somewhere in June 2024 emma sa asem no ye di injunction to so drag ya December no mutumi di asem no wie ye enti omo di omo atwen ma court case na yeden atwamu esusu say court case na ye fi won de na che say conditions of service no ebe yeden ebe ye adwuma no NDC for baya almost say sa nhyehyeye na aban dada ne omo koye ne de omo ntumi njintum na omo jitum anye yie obekaya deputy finance minister say sa nhyehyeye na aban dada ne reference Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association for no koye no say omo de ye adwuma it will add about 2 billion Ghana cedis to the national exchequer. Isempera na enese ye be wie bibia no Ghana ni otie no obehu say ya ton yen color TV akoto black and white inti eyesa TV3 o Metro TV o yehu so Isempera sesi ade ni minister na oye incompetent no on nurses for no kokasa ya to the extent say they didn't proceed on a full blown strike. Now the competent minister no the only financier all proposing say Obama police for action nurses for no.
Hold on, you in opposition in Takando, ranking member, Committee on Health, TB, Abla laboratory workers, a call strike, Tiasmokai.
Responsibility of this government has become legendary. And so I think that when it comes to matters of health, the government must move with alacrity because it borders on the lives of the people. I am not going into the merits and the demerits of why they are going on strike at the moment. But any reasonable government will engage them and then plead with them whilst they are even at the negotiation table to go back to their hospitals or their facilities. And so, as a matter of urgency, I believe that government must respond to their call and make sure that these health workers are back to the hospital, because already we have a lot of challenges at the health facilities. They are leaving, in fact, they are fleeing from this country because of the economic conditions we find ourselves in. Now, when they take their salaries, they cannot buy anything with it. And so, in a matter of between 2021 to 2023, we have lost not less than 69,000 health workers in this country. And so today, if you go to the facilities, if you go to the hospitals, you wait for hours because there's hopelessness in the system, because there's so much hardship in the system. And that is what government must be responding to. And so for me, the Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to health care. And so they must respond to the needs of the lab people.
And Jabusia, I didn't ask some. I mean, go back quick on Facebook. Nana upon Dachi Hene, Nana Kojo upon so here live. Nana Yadas Papa Passazo so and a year Kwame Champon say on so Adjani Yada say Papa. Okay, Yada say until also Kojo Asempa also Yada was say what a great program indeed. Okay, and so say Yada was say Papa Kojo. Nyankopon sha so adwe piaga I say nurses deserves better conditions of service. Thank you Sempera. Piaga yeah, the answer say papa. If Minister Akando if Minta Akando is our Minister of Health, God saves Ghana. You are Owusubuatin Kwabena yeah, so I say Boiling Point, the best political program on mass market yeah, I say watching you live from Takwa Golden City. Manuel yeah, also say HR wire yeah, also say papa. Samson appear kwesi say watching you live from Kaswa Iron City, more fire yeah, also say Missa Bismarck. I'm watching you live from Canada. I say, then you may say also here all the way from Canada. I say everything is messed up, and the NDC administration. Piaga, it also say. So and Lawrence Boache also saw it. I was say, AKA Buche at Asenia, sorry, in Quanta near Unity filling station. It also say, Kwabena Minta Akando is what? An apology to his office. Okay. You know, Nyami Evans also joined Boiling Point on Facebook. There was Sir Fresh also say here live at the Atlanta, USA. Yeah, that also said me say what journey. Oh, journey now the message at Tony I can come at me at the amount. Duncan,
is a better.
What you mean Takando in opposition?
Oh yes,
fantastic.
But you say if you didn't say chia buana.
Nisunko Jano
Nisunko. Is a better.
Senior.
And that dear, ye threatenness for say minister no ye incompetent no any omo kasa ye mo back but minister no ye competent no always set Ghana no minister ye nyina ye de ye ni ato no so minister before so obeba politics mu na the greatest position one hold dining hall prefect position some minister no threat health workers say obema police achi omo is emperor. Mpanyinfo say history has a very nice way of repeating itself. Unim says this is not the first time I deal with AC Ghana. In the year 2013, 5th May 2013, my Joy Online a report here. Or say MPP slams government for importing Cuban doctors. 2013 May, NDC Abaya Mahama the first part 1, Mahama government part 1 and 2. Part 1 no Mahama say Ghana doctor for SC omo demonstration omo strike omo di omo na de gu ho omo nya adwuma omo ti ntesuko kwa kire abanti Mahama kra doctor for fi Cuba mama be adwuma Zampera. So this is not the first time. So this is not the first time and yet first time asem we be SC or Ghana ha any
omo di nurse for atem. And yet it's not the first time. In the year 2015, which is 18th August 2015, Ghana medical strike where BBC na report here. Government to recruit Cuban doctors. So apart from 2013, 2018, 2015, essentially, NDC Mahama Part 1, essentially, AC Jinase, Obema doctor for Cuba, Abeshe Ghana for. Ghana Hanum. We have a deputy finance minister. What publicly Abeka say? Nurses for conditions of services no say ye kasi ebeya yen to me nye at the 2 billion Ghana cedis beka the national exchequer ho enti yen to me enye. Apart from that no, the competent health minister Kwamina Minta Akando say, "Sir, in some ayeka ho asemi. Ya fan share national budget mu. Enti say omo de share budget nu ma na so omo yo ma adwo so mutu a it will throw the budget off, it will throw the economy off. Ebe Ghana economy no ebe tiate say yentumi ensomu baby obefa no obefa rough road yentumi nya den enhye ne so. Is emperor. So you look at all these things and enye say NDC for ni bi ka adenti na MPP for no omo ni omo tena say yes anhye na adenti no mantumi antua. And I've also said Macho say in June 2024, the association and I say the Professional Psychiatric Association of Ghana at the SAR issue way echo court a seeking injunction against the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association. Emma Munya injunction SAR some no yet to meet the year December 2024 SAR time na MPP afia bemu inti ena SAR some no and I say SAR secretary and yama
nurses for no nsempera
Chinia.
NDC for say omo to me to asa sika no na ne boy dey. We are looking at NDC amamu a omo say omo take Ghana kaso because they are resetting omo afa few ministers omo afa few government appointees into omo te yen kaso. In 2024 a election year 12 months of 2024 the government spent 250 billion yen budget I spending the whole year of 2024 12 months they spending 250 billion. In 9 months of 2025 no the government has budgeted to spend 290 billion. Into from 250 to 290 over an extra 40 billion. Sa 2 billion year almost your to mean to ye betu me nya poly sa 20 wom, which is about 2,000 percentage point increase. Nzempera okwa office of the government machinery o mampani atena bia sika na ye akoma bosika na ye de mom 2024 na sika no eye 1.86 billion Ghana cedis. In 2025 the same office of the government machinery you spent 3.87 billion, almost 2 billion Ghana cedis difference. Sa 2 billion Ghana cedis difference we yemfa say sika omo kan no kre it can pay that money betumi atu asa sika no ama nurse for your adwuma nsempawura afi yenko sika same jamfi eje and you compare it now who sa sika no same jamfi in a year oje 1.5 million Ghana cedis. O de ba bosomi a oje 125,000 Ghana cedis bosomi bia. Sa sika no oje emu 15% as clothing allowance. Until it will draw down to 18,750 Ghana cedis. O divided by that clothing allowance and next one a year. E betumi ato uniform mama next for maku 18 almost 19. Same jamfi clothing allowance nko. Sa ni clothing allowance no e betumi atu ya next for 12 getting to 13 salary in a month. Ni clothing allowance. Nsempawura. There's no explanation, better explanation and this for betumi akache and say they are not able to pay the nurses on conditions of service. Afi metin some be some radio no so na nurse for no conditions of service no do so ye say me fancy wa ha
fa first one is na finamenko okuoma
enti me ene me wrap up papa bi a your friend Hans Finzel osua nipa nkita hodia na say human relationship and na oka assembly on not sure the 10 mistakes leaders make, and one of them are oka and say leaders prioritize the paperwork more than the paperwork. Leaders prioritize the paperwork more than the paperwork. You have necessary. Me yaro has a see and the meko ayarhwe bia next for ne behwe me, so that is paperwork. And the paperwork ni say ye nisika anaso o ka che say ye tua sa sika ne ma ma ebe ma economy ni be ye den ebe jija. And you are looking at the paperwork send ye be ye nipa nwu, and you are prioritizing the paperwork above the paperwork. Inti Hans Finzel say these are one of the 10 mistakes our leaders another one Edward Thorndike or say you are likely to repeat things that gives you maximum benefit and discontinue those that give you negative returns. That was the law of effect. Yes, I'm probably ma yebechemu.
Duncan manya na ote say no edi enkomo enyim boiling point no. Oku Emmanuel as so what na say. Na first me kono so no tie.
Responsibility of this government has become legendary. And so I think that when it comes to matters of health, the government must move with alacrity because it borders on the lives of the people. I am not going into the merits and the demerits of why they are going on strike at the moment. But any reasonable government will engage them and then plead with them whilst they are even at the negotiation table to go back to their hospitals or their facilities. And so, as a matter of urgency, I believe that government must respond to their call and make sure that these health workers are back to the hospital, because already we have a lot of challenges at the health facilities. They are leaving, in fact, they are fleeing from this country because of the economic conditions we find ourselves in. Now, when they take their salaries, they cannot buy anything with it. And so, in a matter of between 2021 to 2023, we have lost not less than 69,000 health workers in this country. And so today, if you go to the facilities, if you go to the hospitals, you wait for hours because there's hopelessness in the system, because there's so much hardship in the system. And that is what government must be responding to. And so for me, the Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to health care. And so they must respond to the needs of the lab people.
Minta Kando in opposition, then ranking member, and on some of the two NOB, and on a quick one, Facebook, Jacob Sapon was watching you live from New York on Man FM. You are too good. I greet my wife, Pokuya Sechere, Kwaman Market, Pokuya Ukonsochia, New York, and Genesopa. I'm watching you live from Bubiashi, somewhere, Kaseku, Sami, and Motoso Yacha Papa. Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
Young boy.
Unia. And you remember Minchia or not?
Tea for Jos.
Minchia, a boiling point at you.
Bia Jos.
Minia, honorable Yuma not. One of them say Thursday and a Tuesday is the day on funny radio into baby. A boiling point. Honorable Michel. Now, we are in a very interesting country. It's a very
yes, sir.
Robo in your candle. We're born in me and I was like, wow. You see, Uber to me the propaganda. Edgy to me. But don't to me for propaganda in woman.
Okay.
So, to me chatro. Nagana for the 2 me amount. Sa tro no.
To me boor mine.
To me boor mine. Because the tie in some na akando Eric Kenya. Ekufa do Brazil. And na akando, now a ranking member on the health committee in parliament. No no catcher Ghana for say, unless for no sorry no atamomo bag, no want to can woko. Oko Cuba, oko US, oko pisika papa wo. Esane amemu boni. Esane amemu ana enkoyi. Enti unless for kwa adwuma mu a na woreda oredwen won ho kuma ene odo a eze wode ye adwuma ede hwe Ghana fo no ntumi nya ne sa because won ho kire wo tieni yo aka no na reka say yo nti about 20,000 of our nurses and health professionals afi Ghana akọ oman foforo so akọ greener pasture akọ pesika papa. And until say waba na danko akufo ado also on-dream nurse for ho on-dream doctor for ho aye nhihye e de ato ho yere hwe kwan say san nhihye no at least ebema wo ho ahehan won kakra
wow dream ho no
exactly say na ebe ya won on fan back and ne luggage emfiga na enko krofoforo so
na wunya asem nka
and until akufo ado and won tenas eye nhihye. And I can tell you, Minia is a better.
Yes, sir.
Sa agreement unions it was not only NSFO. In fact, it was almost all the labor unions, especially Ghana Education and teacher for, doctor for, and one. And I can tell you that this was one of the best agreements ever entered into by any government, because no sebe abayin nisika. Na so aban bribia no ebon ho modern say obeye ne ebe ma Ghana fo atom enu nti na adanko akufado ni health minister yero okoboy no mu yes anhyehyɛ no de to ho se ne be ya nurse fo no ho be ho ebe hin enti we were expecting say account do na wo say won wo dwene Ghana fo ho akufado insensitive Omanpanyi John Dramani Mahamo mu adwen Ghana fo ho no anka wo bae no I was expecting say yes e be man nurse for 2 cities anka wo the 2 cities be kan na ya 4 cities what am I say
yes
na uba na wo ka kire mi se sika ni ho wo ka kire nurse fo se sika ni ho nti nhyehyɛ ya Omanpanyi na Danko Akufo-Addo MPP aban and one year no want to mean so one change 2026
one also dream
hono una who say over be reset you know and I can tell you mean Isabella unless fu bebre ekoto aba e de ma John Dramani Mahama and NDC aban because of Bosha mo share won
mo hu say mo dwom mo so bia
asi obia
ene ne
assurances am de ma won na say Kufuor po de sebe ono no ondwen unless fu nkra and it will buy adenti na ne urugwan afisa Bosha no assurance of the man nurse for adena urugwan afi ho ne to so abie we were told in this country by John Dramani Mahama say sa economy Kufuor jaw ewachi no the economy has been criminally managed. What you say?
Yes.
Na economy criminally managed no yetumi ye nhihye e ma nurse fo a e ma ho han won na Kufuor aban no was ready and available to pay 2.something billion now and then I can't say ye nyaje tuma ebema economy no ahihim no economy na criminally managed no it was ready to absorb all these changes I had to buy ema anesifo no and now who economy who si why and papa mo no you are telling us say sa economy no cannot take care of extra 2 billion of our budget. You are saying say economy na papa no CD aba film and CD enya hoden dollar aba film full sweato. I am told, we are told say John Dramani Mahama is the best manager of the economy for the first 6 months 7 months nti adenti na sa best economy no to me enhwe anage fi and one chinase na enka bibi nchire won because nipa eru maminka obi omini azambura so kai biribi a covid eba between 2019 2020 and 2021 so uhun hihye ya Kufuor o manpayin na Danko Kufuor sebi na enyese bi a yense aso ya chiwo anase sika ewo ho but you cannot joke with the health of your people.
Omanpanyin na wonwe oman no.
Omanpanyin na onwe oman no.
Eka che yese ebe bon kwa ho ban.
Exactly.
Sense ebe ka se economy be se.
Exactly. Because okaze sebi nipa wu a wontumi nyan no enfie wu. Na mum se economy ne de. Ese ya.
Ebetumi ayam na
ye. Aye betumi aye ne ehia asan pagya economy ne bi.
According to this for no omanpanyin wonwe Ghana for.
No omanpanyin sabi wabon a onim hwe onwe Ghana for. Adenti na nipa wu.
And who are doing government for no more
2 weeks
2 million
2 weeks over 2 weeks now people are dying over 2 weeks now people are dying nipa do go to the various hospitals and clinics now by here you rural area na dia many hands emperor mobo at least in Grand had some more private hospitals private clinics now clinic na dey but you rural areas no many hands say oti kruti ase oti okrakwadwo oti amanfrom oti development ono se oyare a ete se ofi deveme ebe okrakwadwo kan ko ho moto su no betina na otra moto use with all the risks no bedu okrakwadwo a no was a nurse for strike
ntoma tetekwashi oberu
tetekwashi bibi ani ho oko the newly built Okri hospital. Yes, Okri hospital newly built obeko na nurse fi no. The point is that one koto nurse ni oho doctor entumi nya because as I said the first point of call process, is the nurse ono obeteki also omo for be vitals so eti abaya anase party a ana o mampanyin a ono no so odwen Ghana fo ho enti o the reset in reba no enne a nurse for eco strike for almost 3 weeks. The president hasn't heard it. Omanpanyin amfre anesifo and one tenase what is so crucial then pan and wunya wo men mu prempren asin say nipa rewu na ye wo manpanyin ati o man yi ma waka na atum na onkasa Isabella I mean then na rekosi na Danko Kufuor the black covid buy no so no mu hihye ye anesifo ane John Dramani Mahama say ontumi ntua 2 billion extra and fa ma won no omanpanyin na Danko Kufuor next ni bia oye into contact with the COVID situation no ye man 50% extra of his salary 50%. Is bro, you think it's an easy thing? 50%. You try doctor for 50% of their salary. And that's if you try 50 OBBRA, Sabe, COVID situation, had an encounter with him or her. No, you make sure say, you be share, Sabe, my health professionals, why they, I want to no to me shake Ghana for Eddie Amay. Because near man Penia or Jenny Manfun. Your man Penia, he's not only looking at the economy. And your economy no issue, or issue kwanya, over to me sustain Ghana for na Ghana for Eru. I don't see any man Penia on the Osi. Se Ghana for be wo, me de family home. I didn't see that, sir. I didn't see, and yet your main man, announced full strike over 3 weeks. Vice President in Kasaye, Oman Penya Kasai in Kasaye, Chief of Staff in Kasaye. You see, Nanya, how are you, Mukra, Minia, and Sempera? In summer walking car efahono. Look, we are there. A ben beer no one said Wabet Transfer, labor unions, and sorry, Intiano. In terms of Ibia won't see Kasama and Kui. We are dang one way or the other. No, but you see, you need a buyer, Sabe, or you're competent. Now, if you ought to say Jim, Sasamoba, Sabe, I don't know what they can. Now, when you're health minister, or no, say, Samopa, Moncotinefi, we are going to engage the services of retired nurses. How can you, and he's still at post too. Or that's what he was say, health minister. The president doesn't see anything wrong. You see, some of the states, Emma Nipa Bufu. On Penny and Kasasa.
No one does all money or more.
Opa, Tinafie, Yakofa, retired now. 7 men now, on where we had 20 years ago. No. 9 crore original so that clinic one. Then you have a whole deputy presidential staffer at the presidency. Catcher next for say they should be fired. They should be fired because at their one day legally one day they are claiming for it, and then we see because they want to strike it. Abayem pam wonina. Now ubenya NDC journalist Captain Smart. And Johnny's bike is also Johnny's leaks. A dear, what the ma anesefo ewo kroimu. Esani said they are demanding for what they are legally due. At there you want it. The rights, they have the right. Say, as I say, one so what je near maybe more brabomu ahehan won. And then NDC fusi want bida. Adia esi wo omanpanyin na danko akufado breso mo sori kasa tiae enumpa na omanpanyin renhyehyɛ pa e de ama won no musemonti ase e kan say mebre. And you see Yenra Akando, he must come out and apologize to Yen Anesifo. No, it's the biggest insult. And then bakubi ameka nkrampo de opinion be Osingame. Also, you cannot force government to pay you. NDC, labor experts. He was a former MP. Okujato constituency. Osingame, he was former MP, former deputy.
They cannot
minister.
Force government to do what?
He said that unions cannot force government to pay them.
To me, pa.
Yes.
To me.
Unions cannot force government.
Yes, open ni pa huni suni ni ban pa woni mu. For 2 million man is can. And this time no more 2 million was can.
And na yete ho no.
And dem for bia nya.
And no na yete ho no. And na yete ho no. You see, in Sempera, eto de bia. One hwe yi a, we can say say we can. Because you na yete o man mu. Answer na you run now down Akufo-Addo. Eba be for 2 million 2017. We all knew the conditions of young health workers, including teachers, the same. Omanpenyi a year shepa 4 years. Now we use school. Post 2 because now a buy no the Nenzako Koshe IMF. Yeah. 4 years. You are John Dramani Mahama as president. 4 years. 1 trillion. And that's for post 2 or main.
Now before that, teacher no chira dia.
Yeah, me teacher for class here. and then nurse for some now back in America.
Then me cheap
4 years.
Me cheap teachers for the about.
Yes.
Omutia mukase 2-3 months.
Which are there 1 year, no amount 3 months. And I'm sure now, unless a few grounds, the same thing will happen to them. Oh, 4 years. What could school a year? On my paying John Dramani Mahama say it's on the IMF conditions in key. On to me foul because there was a freeze on all public sector employment. I affected unnecessary. You will not now go to buy only in paying for tenacity. As I hear she say for Fibria, ye buy no, ye making sure say a Fibiano, ye fa unnecessary at the various health institutions. Ye embrace nearby. You undertaking the greatest form of health infrastructure. You will remember the agenda 101 project.
Yes.
And then okay, your hospital and nurse for a woman warrior.
Nanya minta kan buy oba commission 12 say test 15 year.
Oh,
do one man on part of back no president and I crash. So wo work no je man panyi John na dan kokufa de na e ma commission.
Yes.
Having auto papa na na fair that.
Enti MPP aban e be ye nhihye pa. Nhihye pa. Ebe boa na ye nuanom yi won abrabom ene won adwuma wo ye no at least won ahenhan won ye to mu na President John Dramani Mahama ka kire yin say nurse for allowance wo tua ma wo school no ontumi tua because otua o man ne bebo okay the famous quote we have eaten the meat to the bone yare na manaka dompe na economy na yare na manaka dompe no yenra na now danko go for Dubai ebe dandan sa economy no e ma na yutumi tua allowance e de ma anesefo na ati ye we am I refree ebra na warrior TikTok Facebook no church on ma no post to na yenra John Dramani Mahama area resetting yes no we told them say yenra John Dramani Mahama sebi it is not as if say oye omampanya ye hu no so dawo. He has been the president from 2012 to 2017. Yenimajuma oye. Ajuma ni bebre na no na NCC so. He was a complete disaster. Ya catch Ghana for. Ena eja Ghana for say 8 years no aso. Enti regardless of the enviable achievement of Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo no, monko tena fie. Ena makofa account no maba. Makofa account no maba ne uko striker wo se kona kwatena fi won pamomo yenkofa retired nurses mra ebi se mu ye madras ebi krampo so se mu certificate krampo no man qualify mu certificate nya papa
ebi krampo to describe am so mu ye moa
Johnny
matem
o se anese for no almost certificate nya papa
you see akukuduru a NDC won MPP ni bi NDC for akukuduru a ombe diwatem omo akukuduru a ombe han wo mani ade a kire wa untimi nya foko nkire wo MPP for ni akukuduru no the gentility munya gentle how can a journalist school class okobio e bia practice kwa 3 months and akukọ na be yi utimi tena radio so TV so a professional nurse attempt.
It's bad.
Jesus Christ.
It's bad.
It's only at the NDC government.
Me say, proud to the 2024 elections. Here I can't smart. Also, saw nurse for Koftan in studio. And now only want to take pictures. And what can some or you President Akufo-Addo can't throw your na actually. And then the same Captain Smart. Her catcher and nurse for say yes, so once we may mudodo. The same Captain Smart. Yes, so once we may mudodo. And these are the kind of people. Now, me know it is good because me I have always made a point. The beer that make us say there is no way. What is the ultimate MPP, NDC at to MPP home. So no, I can see the difference between the two political parties. Huge. Now Ghana for be who won't sue and won't buy. Ghana for be who you want John Dramani Mahama and the NDC are buying no won't sue and won't buy because they catch their own. I don't expect anything positive because John Dramani Mahama no sabi you know John Dramani Mahama o manpanyin no yan hu da wa betna akwa kasi so da na yenim se ne obo no ho modern ye fight. It was an abysmal performance na mu ye besre no Omanpanyi, yenim say you're incompetent. Yes, sir. Yenim pa way the critical. It's an issue of life and death. Nipa rewu. People are dying.
Yes.
People are dying. Yes. There should be an urgent solution to this problem. There should be an urgent solution. Nipa rewu. And then Oba secondary schools are. Mofrane yare, we have to ask them to go back home because unless if we won the health centers, no, we not go strike.
Hey, I ain't found the idea any chairs on me.
We not go strike. And I yet your main and obi aye. Because a juma aye the man won instead of them focusing on the real job. What by no? Their interest was how we can make money. Enti yenkoti gold board. Because gold board on a honest scan wo. Yenkoti gold board. Mo ye galamsey. One for one go through all the procedure. A ho and a wording when each day a pamon for if you remember. Sabi Ghana for what your own business. One couple score your own business and what at our own. And in Yemen who here I just what do we need diachi, what do I do need diachino? What you have to baby? And away near my sabi and fasu any so. And I ne Ghana for Eru. So what area? Ye mame vice president Ayari. What didn't call rookie? The US in so a one woko san yaro. At the expense of the taxpayer. Oh yare no, omo chata flight. Wako san ho yare kwampo awie na. Anka obetumi afa say economy so, say first class so, say omo chata flight and the mame ni fi abrochire ba Ghana ha. Wote
nanso in opposition omo come here ti ase okoma.
What you come here and also now here separate and now we are now hospital because next funny ho and so vice president now cause a lie to Obama no oya ono and now yare no what no kwa brochiri e ko hwe no. You see the difference? So when we shower ni amane a what the Ghana for ekum jawo ni amane a what the Ghana for ekum na ni nyina no it is important. Look nyankopon wo yen na de kwa Nsempera nyankopon yin ade kwa me de eto da bia aya me catch party fo no se monka mo komanto me yam eto da bia onyankopon ye niema ni bi se ne be ya ye be hu niema bia ni suye because emanate ye wo Jesus no they have never witnessed the NDC before because obi wo no ma at the time na John Dramani Mahama e power no obi about 12 years 11 years 16 years and then what they go for the 8 years and be can 12 years no ho. Now he's of age. So what I say, and in France and Obabehu amemu at least when we go for the kakra Obabehu NDC amemu so now when jina so now what they take a decision. I mean we saw all the young guys on social media. We saw them rooting for the NDC and ne tietchi ne shadin ko because they knew the end results. Let me repeat it again. I mean kebiu say there's no way to me the NDC atoto MPP ho. Esan say nyema MPP eba bema wo ye e ma Ghana ho Ghana fo ho ehenhan ho no wo ho to wo no. NDC nya bi da. Onye bi ma wo. Ye best say you want John Dramani Mahama. Na me bisa say Council of State fo no. Sebi adwuma ben pa na wo ye. Look at the money we spent in organizing Council of State elections. Now, as a member of the Council of State, now as MBC and next 3 weeks and quite money per do. Yanti BBR from the Council of State members here. Aden, it's a mirror. Aden, the best I am for. Sorry,
okay.
Ahemfo sorry, omemu mpemfo sorry, asofo sorry. Na won kan bibi nche yewa John Dramani Mahama. Ene bia entu you. Ebia ene wo ahoden. But you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Yenim ye besi emere kakra da yenim. Ebia na ye wo no wo hospital ana clinic bia nurse eni ho, ana doctor eni ho. Ebia na ye wo ne na bi. Ebia na ye wo nua bi. Enti mo manya sorry ne yen kan bibi nche yewa John Dramani Mahama because health workers cannot be on strike for over 3 weeks. Nei na kan ya na tuma wo mai. Adan
wrong. Abusia give us some more kasia and enyumre say what the give us about center was share kakraka no e the give us pick capsules e the aba eboa said ye be na yade ahodo bi tse premature ejaculation ye betime to ase rashes a egu ma ne mema nyina sa so na eye yawo a wote wo wunsuo guo mu na betu ase sa so no give us co capsules and so ehwe eye sisi yade ayem team koko na afa yade ahodo aka nyina so ka p capsules ni co capsules bo no ma ye jiman 10 pounds so so e give us herbal mixture ba here 3D yade typhoid sa so na wa person na yawo ya wanum na 20 minutes the immune system no na ye week a no makwan ma yade bia no fa ni padua no mu a na abo etimi e de ato be boost immune system no na fight infections na etimi e de am afraid give us for it was 0543222470 0543222470 and that's 0506851135 na wonomo edupa no onsa enkabia na mebie phone lines na ma won tam papa na mama okwan na won so watimi a kire wa dwenti tam tweku Kontonchi Links Limited womo enade tonchi herbal capsules e de aba adwama so na hwe memma yade ne tu memma yade asema memma timi agina mo na so memma sem betimi di wo ya bema na betimi di memma sem pa dia na sese o ma won sai timi kan tonchi herbal capsules ni bi se nsuo guma na se wanya nam yade bi betu asefo ma wo ho etumi ato nom na o chine bi no ya nkwa sho katita ya fa roba nkwa tu bema me basa na o title memma ye no ena yaje edi asen dadoa so eno ano no ntihwe na ma won sanka e tonchi herbal capsules ni be frɛ wono mo e wo 0553 511159 0553 511159 so benya bi ato e wo Holiday Pharmaceutical Shop e na nwumre yi be ma de e se o ma onu mbo member no mu and in tina make for Jagger 4 bitters etime at the amount Jagger 4 bitters yedi nubna nuehini habama makuma kwa duana nsia 46 and yetumi at the aye and into sakabna no hangover sembie nim ade achina obetimi asore brane akwadwuma so mema nyina so hwe tabia takum acha kwana beboa wo na eno so etime tu yade bia ase ema ho etumi ato watimi agina na so edi mema sem dankan kwekwa na maybe phone lines in temper by 9:30 maybe phone lines na atifatu yanko
na me kan say nurse for no omo conditions of service a omo ka ho asema yenuanum atubi aguma ya yese sikeni bi na omo di echi no entesa conditions of service no 8 in number the kind book and research allowance and sa book and research allowance no enye nurse for ni nyina na entitled nurse for no more lecturers omom kita masters omom publication bi anase all year research work bi or submit and qualify uniform allowance omoje 400 cedis currently the whole year and uniform obeshe no allowance I man so I say clothing allowance 400 cedis samaje fee 18,750 cedis and oma kwa negotiate amaya to fee 400 yakwa 1,000 and have a full allowance no say you be an age and also selected people and a non-basic allowance and only 8% on the basic salary. Next for BG as little as 1,500. If you moje 2,000, if you moje 2,500. Into you calculate 8% on it. It is not that much of allowance able to be a true of the economy. About rural incentive allowance and also a selected and on-call facilitation allowance and a continuous progression allowance. Zebra
senior
opani bi a offer no Edward Thorndike or ye behavioral studies and as a nipa institute ye ho adwuma and a property theory bi a offer no the law of effect.
Okay,
oko science ma omo ato ne din the operant effect say o de onsa hye kotokuo mu na wonnim de hye kotokuo mu na o de onsa hye mu na bibi fewa what will you do so o twe onsa
watching tentem
basa wo do sanche sa kotokuo ni ma na se uyi wonsa na wayi gold a den na be obepia wonsa na sa den ahyemu biem se obesanya gold ni bi ma so that is the law of effect or say ade a wo ya den fa so de ebra wo no obeto akoso aye den aye na mo de a wo ya emfa so de bia na se nchira papa bia mfimu mba no be den obeja aye it that is the law of effect afei so me kindness for no mpanifo say so utwa atache Maria onwe nambiaye we nurse na o facility wa Accra na o mameti ebia ba bi ti say kokra kwadwo anaasɛ kwasi diaka anaasɛ checheku anaasɛ nsuta predia enye una umame ne ho dodo na ba akɔhwɛ no obi ene wo ho bɛkɔ akɔhwɛ no nti sɛ wo strike a umame ho dodo na nipa no umfrɛ no nka nkyɛ sɛ o me mame na ne ho adodo nti kɔhwɛ me mame nti yɛsrɛ mo kotodwogu fam ensa de ensa yam yendi NDC amamu bɔne amamu kankan amamu tantan yachi ento ya de papa engu banyifo se udware abofra no wi a onto abofra no ene insufi ni nyina nye den engu gotamu nti yesre nesefo bebi adunde ani ayenyan yesre mo omune aban no enkoso a anto nkoso ankasa ne mum yebesre mo se omumbo modin na anamu bia mbetumi atu a MPP for yen kasa ma nurse for we don't speak for the nurses because nurse for no they are on record mahama
and this in opposition as a nurse for and as a health workers a cost striker na omo boss omo chop powder guso
we yes
the mighty minority for press conference om here o maso mo kan press conference nyina ne say a nurse for omo pacho and this in opposition minta kando in opposition opacho minta kando e chopper back okura wampa bi dankan inti kwa mame san bo ne boss bio chopper back anka bi na tie nse hu no cancel Ghana for
responsibility of this government has become legendary, and so I think that when it comes to matters of health, the government must move with alacrity because it borders on the lives of the people. I am not going into the merits and the demerits of why they are going on strike at the moment. But any reasonable government will engage them and then plead with them whilst they are even at the negotiation table to go back to their hospitals or their facilities. And so, as a
reasonable government.
Oh,
any reasonable government
will engage them.
Yes.
Tina engage your mono any reasonable. In Sempera, unim say aban buy na ya recruitment in the health sector. Almost say yamfa kwan pa so anya sa recruitment no. Nti say be posti owe akọ say be ni say o mayi sa nkofo no bebre ya betena fie. And the entire say we are not speaking for nurses for say before the election 2024 yenya nurse for moko gina simpie so ekita your friends paper speech every this omopa mahama mbra no beje omo nti MPP for we will not speak for them yenya communicators we are not their PR ne mum ye say konfo bone a oti kroma osi kro ne mbo no se kro ne bo a oti mu bi nti MPP for ye mpese kro ne bebo isa se kro ne bo a 2029 ye ba abengwa ne san betena abengwa no so a ye bebre so we are not hoping for that. It's a para health workers omo allied school of hygiene for allowance MPP breso ye working omo ayaye omo head count ye verification ni na wie say yetu aka no besi ne NDC for omabubu ni asho masum so muntu ya seska no enti enye nurses for nko there are crisis and I catch Ghana for say we know mahama you know better na bengwa so me wo university me wo SS me let him master teacher watch there 2 years yentu ya neka mahama so betu ya neka 3 months ye ni mahama nye new person ye kan ya almost still omope mahama ti mahama ban sempawura medicine no dan me ba ha no me kasa fa fuo eka ye betua with that levy demonic devil levy no na driver for no be frame me eka che me se me nchire mu e wo gallon mu nti ene gallon me nchire mu na me de asi se a day u use 3 gallons sa a day no u betua 13 cedis a week no betua 94 cedis bosomi betua 378 cedis afi betua 45 million titisika no se we use 5 gallons a day we betua 23 cedis a week we betua 158 cedis a month we betua 630 cedis afi we betua 75 million se we use 6 gallons a debia obetua 27 cedis e de ama sa demonic levy no na watu bia obetua 189 cedis bosomi obetua 756 cedis afe obetua 90 million se we use 10 gallons a day obetua 45 cedis a week obetua 315 cedis a month ubetua 1260 cedis afi ubetua 151 million so we use 20 gallons a day ubetua 90 cedis a week ubetua 630 cedis a month ubetua 2520 cedis afi no ubetua 300 million yechi na saa sika ya yebetua yi enya Africa for nkwa no betua saa sika no se wo chikele wela gas na wokoto no demonic levy ni bi da so onu aduane wo fie de ma wokunu a wokoto gas a demonic levy ni bi da so o ye friends sumedro crazy fo a sa crazy fo no so betua sa demonic levy ni bi nti enye Africa for nkwa enye won a wotwi trotro drivers nkwa na wo betua sa sika no nti drivers are going to suffer, teachers are going to suffer, kelewele operators and also mochi kelewele ebe suffer, wache omo moton wache ebe suffer, oma adwuma bia wo ye bia including nurses for ayesi ye ntu omo conditions of service mamu yi ye nyina ebe suffer. Inti ye guswa ebo mahama kokose mahama sa anamu awutu na rough road na separa last time me ba han me catch us say free papa bi say sofo tanko is it sofo tanko computer say something or say or your doctor na the doctorate no onya fi King's No University me catch us say fake the doctorate na enye authentic and detect e dey abase sa the doctorate no on yin fi no so na ye catch mahama say on prosecute papa na enye sa ye be ko demonstration
ti me da sia oku kwa na fina me fa course
na ye be dwen ni Ghana fo na yasre anes fo no se ye pam chew o ka se udi once na chia obebere kurum na NDC abai no o ka se udi na chia look one hwe ya niam be sei ye be sre won na senate biara no wonmra won abai no nkotena se na abai no so ye betu no fo onyai kasafi no na onka kasapa nchire anes fo no at least they should meet them halfway completely say totally won't me yan hwede just a 2026 day yeah that's not how we negotiate we are buying you cannot be talking this way meet them halfway ma hunkom kakra na won so hunkom kakra na Ghana for any the ultimate beneficiaries maybe na media ya hometo and now SML issue strategic mobilization we look
limited
maybe one year 2029 Yoko SPO whoever is involved in this kind of charade, this kind of illegality yeba as I said abino it taking on okay. And I will ask SML paying for say they should start it from today we are buying own a Ghanaian owned company. It would be say yeah the Ghana for FSA Eyana. Look, sa SML issue we mbeka ya wokoye hunde de bebre ema omanpayin na dan kwakufado instructed KPMG say omunya nhwehwemu enfa ho about 300-page report buy there was nowhere KPMG can say SML and now say finance minister ayeboni bi enne papa na oye KPMG penyimpa or shares investigations and research omuye. He is now the Internal Revenue Commissioner. GRA Commissioner muya ono not all. It's what has changed. Na sebi wako je warrant. Say konako search obi private property. Do you have to go and destroy properties there?
Now
do you have to go and destroy properties there? What is the essence?
No more sanitizer.
What is the essence? Are we running a lawless country? Are we running a lawless country? Say, who get a warrant? Obi software. Do you know how much it costs?
Serious?
Do you know how much it costs to provide that software? Look, 2029.
Now, Tema branch no more.
So you were asking a very important question. First, distraction. How are we monitoring our revenue, our tax flows?
Yes.
I'm paying John Dramani Mahama Breso. Okay, not what the Puma. No, measure full quantity of chroma. And I can tell you between 2020 to 2024, SML, it has earned us 20 billion extra revenue. 20 billion, over 14.5 billion liters were over declared or under declared before SML came into the system. And Sankaya Obribia, yes, ye my SML, and I can furata, as ye Buambaso, because Omu Ama Yenya revenue be extra 20 billion Ghana cedis. It's not an easy thing. And then it's a cartel, a war oil industry. Na amount for person move for kwetikwine any ye na Ghana for your brainty and all fight SML, and you don't have any institution leading the chart than the OSP.
It na maybe say GRS have question
than the OSP.
They should come out and at least be Ghana for, because so one will be contract 2020 pass and contract 5 years contract.
What is happening?
Which are in 2028.
If you have any issues
from Tuesday till date, monche ye kwanya na enya happy no omunya nkoran sake strategic mobilization for limited home office no ni enim say aban to e da fango so from the oil marketing companies at the coupons no wo mo na track no mo the trauma aban which Ghana Revenue Authority for ntimi kan che say SML for buy no aban na boka ana aban na physical no babu nim say enya mfaso enti at least I'm expecting Ghana Revenue Authority to by now. Come on, Babon, Tiabe can't check Ghana for say. Office of Special Prosecutor, the Okoko ye yenti. I see a SML phone to me and monitor and your bank to Famano. And she share ye. So that what be say report me banning say a kabiaba. Abana boka, identity boka. The see enti and my gab baba da home and kofobi chifango for mu, kofobi ye nieme bia. Yenya record nti abana boka metimi akwhye GRA ana metimi akwhye whoever or set this agenda no na we dey GRA format me kan we enti se nyame na metia me bisa wansema nyimre ya Ghana ni bebi o ti wansema bia ni bieko.
I'm telling you, research na we num no a omo chichi nkofo de kwhye yoko over 48 hours are omun yomo no. Look, when we come to power in 2029, we are going to do what we call formatting.
Okay.
Now say won't to me echo 1 week. I'm sure whoever will be held culpable will go maybe 2 weeks. Because injustice and that criminality with there, it should not go unpunished at all. And I want to request say SML for no, they should take on the state. They should take on OSP. Whether OSP, whether Iyoko, whoever is in charge of warrant search room or no. Because clearly, look, Omeyo the mra and a teacher of mine. No. It's not say the man a teacher of mine, it's the mra to neighbor of mine. Say what the 2 Miyama. I don't say, Seven, you open our bay. And you are not the first OSP that we have had in this country. You are not the first Iyoko boss, or you are not the first CID boss. Say, if I'm not here, Juma. Look, people must call them to order. You cannot use lawlessness to correct what you want to say illegality. You cannot use illegality to correct another illegality, so-called illegality. It should not be done. And I yet to come and I also want so. And a company, a bar system between 2020 to 2024. Omochime in additional 20 billion. 20 billion at the amount buying. 20 billion. Say KPMG. I mean, you know KPMG is a repeatable auditing firm. Yes. 300-page report. On the buy. There was nowhere in the reporter a catcher and say, SML, and I say Ghana buying Yera Kenofurata DNM, and even Ghana Revenue Authority. Ayabonibi. And then KPMG boss, no, on Yera John Dramani Mahama, appointing as GRA boss. On the one point as GRA boss. Into no make country and say report now on the buy no. Nay report. Nay any report. Look, San Oye, and what Tata Ghana for Usokai appear in Camo. Watching my dress mo. And this abay nyawani chi kra ne Ghana ni asabe orobon homodin nyawani chi ene Ghana ni orobon homodin otan obetawo sa aden what is this a Ghanaian owned company so why boni pa is that how you have to treat the company.
Office of Special Prosecutor OSP me tell say ade we no aye on interest na all here to fight aye kenofuriata e ka sa agenda no ho ana say
interest
I don't know but you see when him say wo kwae no omo in prison or what chire workers ni be the question also because they were requesting for
videos
their password
videos no ma handcuff
yes they were requesting for their password ebe mom kwan no ma enter into their system and they said no they will not allow it because of anything what chire want the question cells but how can you look constitution you know article 19 clause 10 of the constitution say look want to me enforce me say me ma evidence later na ebe incriminate man kasa. What I say, I cannot be forced to give evidence that will incriminate me. I know the Emrano a pay one. Now all person ni pan any software, ni password any amount. You know the case as no actually. Now one from untia. Now what look what actually with security men now worry share. Yes.
Yeah. Fraud workers now.
What actually security men? Handcuff form. Ayaka. What kind of lawlessness is this? Eh? Ghana pa JB dan kwa Ghana neni enti John Kufuor Ghana neni
Kufuor Ghana neni financial loss the state wo memu apana sam
oh yes
enti fa mo bia
senya ti bia is embewra 2029 beto ye look ye wo baby ayebu o se senya we ne bodua nyantwi bodua anka ne to no
anka confirm
da anka confirm da look me say omode it should even take 20 years in subscriber. Now, me say 20 years into 2029. Near Erokosi, near NDC for a year. Amemu Trokansi.
Rademayankwa, Joe Patata Menkan Sochia. Quick, my message, because it is so sad that most nurses and other health workers did not know that the NDC never extend to them the kind gesture Nana Ado's NPP government gave to them. Like President Mahama himself once said, their short memory prevented them from acknowledging the good things former President Nana Ado did for them. So during the election 2024, they voted against his government. Now, they have to carry their own cross. Of course, we sympathize with the situation, but they have called for it. Okuku Seku Damfa offer Mechan me. If I was a for quick 1 minute, I mean, for cause this year, Uncle. Aquaba.
Brother, I say,
Yanko Padoboko. Yanko,
we are to my panya, Mishra, Sampura, and in some way I send Hipaka. 1 minute now the tram is needed. If we mean as in Jukra, Tudia, almost a mabai, Miobia Miti Casapa. TSM Chiami, Nipanina, Micha, Sa, and Nipan Casta 1 minute pen. Now, next time, my chance, I make Casana and Nipaniti.
Okay. And
you know, and then Mibano, my Michiami, and Frafra for more, Tiemi. Frafra for Zanori, da Pada Weni, or say Manso, Namachia Frapa. Me bas to me chat, I go back for you, Dagoba for you, Anura, or say Anura, Alafi, Namicha Bronfo, Mecha Bronfo, Michan Crafona, and Yami Megame, 10 years, 10 and your fan. Sana Michiami, Latte Fonso. Latte, Biamope, until I tell you Balia. Michia Munana, Michakro before I want your man, can you dear can you Saminalo? And say my phone answer, Mutiamina, so Agbukanoe. And Sapura, and then Sema Minuamaka, Minuabaco, German with Timmy Pa Kobi. And I Jenny and Michel, I James or Ronnie Spark. And then Nessis are 7 Mudicano, or Macabe, Timmy Pesecam, the Fabrica Credi. Na Adipako Yemi Ya. Say, Nessis you call strike. Na Nipadas and it mitras case, Nessis no more strike, you know, because of Omo school, no Omo in chat until on quiet nursing. How can you talk like this? Wow, say, Bibi Ba, Ayane to the Binami Transi Wofie, no Bika NDC. any MPP omu nyina ye nipa ba dabi sida because wo hwe amambo a enne jomama any NDC sempawura asebo amudi tena sisa amambo boni akufo adobu na say nyina enne omu ba power no they are doing worse things than akufo administration say pawura tama ne ye tena si ye wa ye so akufo ado time ye tu galamse ohun so obi tu galamse wo fie da enne galamse ye tu wo fie efie wo hwe obi fie ne ye tu galamse first yes ye tu galamse ko push ansa na ohun say enne ye tu wo fie enti ene ma bebria andi si di betena si so where you say no enne omo no mu ye ne ka ko ba ni say hwe aka 3 months ni yakọ yato aba na physicians bi omo ye nurses na president by then no e candidate jama mama ka kire omo say oh mu dia mu ntwe na mi ba dia me ba be hwe mo pay enne utro say ti say next year ansa na obetimi fa omo yi mom tax aye kan ye kan petrol hu tax asem aye kan sisi ai na akufo adu ti yadin ya no on pay Ghana for asem na utua yi levy 1000 ubetua 1 cedi odi di ndc fu ye ni pa boni fu omo ka kire Ghana fu nyina nti sempara se obi be send mesend 1000 mawa unu no be ye o send ni 200 sire be ya ni pa no ntua tax ma abai no na ne the same 1000 na wo kana utua 1 and na utua cedi 30 pesos nti media ya mi kan say Ghana fu ya difference between NDC and MPP enye bibia no mo ye o no mu ba no mate do ma yo o mi ba o yo ma dwin say o mo be chichiri o ma ka chire o cost o followers ni say oh ye ba be chi MPP fo ye ba be chi MP etu no mo ye bibi just ani pa ni hu so nti bo so mo di ani no mo ba oh ye chichi wo na o mo wi ana a chire otoku no no mo ni sa mo group nu so ba mo ye nchi wo na sira ko lesson so ba sira ko lesson ni di a chire no ma ba ye chichi wo afi omo wia na afi on full soldiers no mo di a chire kura wo chichi wo enye bibia no mo ye bibi na
hello good evening senior
hello good evening apomwe
nyango pa no ko senior ba che nko
ya pa ma jama ka se free dance mai
ye ti o senior
this year you won say o man payini and me net for call no wakasa bebre nenso wo mo wan fa ho da e kire se adwene won nwene o man yi ho na won fa wo e kire se unu bi ya de na wo be frɛ na wo wayɛ so wa da won patu aguo wa na se bu no won buo won fa oguo ene ani tie emma o man Ghana for kra wo hwɛ coordinates for e fa so a enyo no baka sa waka se 24-hour economy ebe ya adwuma enke konya adno wan fa da kunya so am panel the furniture na say enyo no na kotena negotiation mu say wotimi akodi 10% ama workers na we di adon no anso ntimi kotena say the minister na abon a adon no anso ntimi friend access for nka say nipa EU na man for empa we ntio ho fo
me da se
minister ya hwe ubi
manu no
ka san so obi ho bo ya jinsi ntuma we alawana betom ntuma mu
ene enne
enu akatua na yetua no yes wo response a
no wa hwa wo de me da se papa hello good evening yes sir senior bachenko
asapi nje kufulia
yanko
ama mkwende mchana consultation mtia sente
ajoso
2019-2020 mitina na adu asem ko kan na during the covid time na I was saying good say yeah share money per ni pungwe ni bank kwa sasa ni tipe I was saying good hey papa because how am the whole world obi agi ni tumu so they say o say o wo bi sina kwa bebo no ja so doctor ene nurses ase no mo tina di bank mo peni papa mo peni o peni pa mo ni no 2012 o say get this no o ma de get bet on YouTube na so jana yi ni Ghana do hunti what you do that my person trade as about you me I may try to go but so need to have yes about it so so man who did but you don't have ya said you papa don't you come mama dey message for so ampa o communicate me ba no mo sampa message how when you dey more what you like about ko no mo dey mo o so one mo create no o mo say 5 months 6 months gold bond among something. Young is I'm going to be more. Yes, I'm going to be more. So I say, but just to have the quarter presidency. As I say, again, the government let's see it. It's a problem. I am now no coming on.
Medas, Papa. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Chimbache and Cody maybe accept you.
A very boise, the free hours.
Okay, young guy.
You mention Miami MP at Tobin. Any assassin by or NIC or Choba, which you pa. Only be fair 50 day one, and this is for power. Nyama be beer on Baye and Faquim. Obaye, Odi a Tokono Bequin and Faquim. D levy and Faquim. No more Condoka. I think. All the campaign also Obama will be a one. Cecilia Obaye, Chenes, Omoko strike. I'm out for a and found radio station one out to two. Radio station and out to two. And this I didn't know my year how am I gonna force her. I didn't know my year how am I gonna for them NBC. Say me say I'm catching. But one can someone say 4 years or more. Medasi.
Meso Medasi. Hello, good evening. Oh, too bad when to me now. So number no 0245 638 748 and after 0508 346 915 near Ninkom. Hello, good evening.
Madam.
Yes, sir.
Better to my station.
Bajatina and Coetio.
Minion me ba wakasa. Efo the chow.
What you say?
And that's a real brantem. Na what me about the Sapa Mama. Be the much name I have. Yedika, Yemi Animal Nurse for. Maybe I can bet me and can be before you own to obey. It's at the payer and a buyer. Alawani mio as they got 20 amo. And they AC Alawano, Crano, and Amunia Crano. You become what I say. They say, Wakatia, and your friend say, couldn't allowance in your name account and your shame from a mobile brain. Where you have to approve. A third year cobrunum. Alawani mio, young to mount, about 20 out. No problem. The master men penning for MVP for betting for almost you a man that's for and that's for money and year. I'm near in the year. And I'm a young man, MVP for an idea. Yaba, and your man, your man, try or man in the area, the national, the party, my young home. The party mo and to bring down my put to the party. I am managing now. There's no man who fish. When your crown would get $8 billion at the mama. Say, seven. Thank you. A bride is your own and your FIFA, and depending me every one. And tell you, one more power of Cacarano, and then you obey. What I say? Matata, you're only young campaign. What I say? You depend support to a bano, the young campaign when church, Yavana, or managing now.
Okay, Medas Papa, Medas, young fancy now been some to us my 0245 number near 0245 638 748 and your number Bacono sounds so and a 0508 346 915 0508 34 69 15 and your number Bacobit my friend sounds so and a 0245 63 87 48. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Chief Bacho, maybe accept. Oh, what not the more say?
The uncle Francis, the nurse 40 year old. When baby today, Kushana, Gomwa, a futu municipal, or to MP Abama, any other. No, I come for nurse if we have a training studio. Ya baby, madam, what do you home? As a more for your home. Papa, you answer Bofu. On ye, Alex, Sebastian, no, I. All your ima, Mr. Brain. Onima, Mr. Brain. I can't finance a free able go. Let's enter a free able go there. Oh, Bamba Bon. Now, since I'm by a modian way, but that's for almost some yes. MPP, ya, by Papa. MPP, ya, by Papa. Atibia, a Bibia, Baba, Biala, Yeja, Bibi, AKH. Go for by Oja Basses, Oja Health Insurance. Ekufado ebe free HS also that do eba sise mo da by there next be cycle ntimo oyemo wala ye de wase
men so me da papa yanko amas no frefo ne hello good morning good evening sorry want me anya so oko 0508 346915 and I say 050245 638 748 na yeni enkomo hello good evening.
Hello?
Yes, Chief, but you need to be accepted.
Upon a cat, I'm talking in car.
Me tell Papa.
Live from Cantaman to Accra, Ghana.
Patriote you.
Upon a Yami of Sonata, Papa.
On Shaw's Papa.
If for running pack, into Okoiwan, the Grammy, Yami of Papa.
I just saw.
And what I know, when you come for a seat, you're opening. We come out from
Shaping the nation.
Papa Campo will be 2 francs on my MPP, and Papa can come work upon a judge anyway. Upon at the end of the year, and next the hospital, the hospital, ambulance. Now, before I'm a woman, and I'm going to go a much. Now, my own, my watch, my car, no credit, the two of you. President Mahama and Yawabrafo. And Yawabrafo. Sami Jansi, Fika to Kimbie, Oyako board chamber, what I should go to so. I think Fikabu. I said, it's hard to know Sami Jansi at the Tamanada, and one can't be from my net upon Mumgo. The question, no. Oh, Ghana Mamu has been just trust some Yapatam, Sami Jansi, what petition? I was Kumase, only Capre. You do a board chairman, and then on your doors.
Good board chairman.
I and bond, and I want to come out, Grada. Also, to their food. Of a lamb, I will not get in, and I want to check. And the present moment, I open.
Okay. Senior, may I say, my business to us or Mammy 0508 346 915 line minim de ba kwan ye ba kuntimi enyina so bet ye de ba kwan be adwuma sa ne ko hello good morning good evening sorry senior
yeah morning hello
yes madam
hello
madam pacha me ton kan
yo pacha grace new sempa
oh grace boko there
oh boko farmer blue
kafra
what hello.
Metonka Grace yanko metonka.
Jo, me da for me chia info next time. Me try say maybe.
Wadauma.
Na ma be kasa pa. Sika no ya je allowance no. Yeah, into aba. Bone hene. Mr. Bone hene. Tempera. We are so de bia me ka say oto. Obo. Ebo dan ya kai say ebeba also na ka mutie NPP ensema ye kan yanka emba ne sa na ye nto aba if you say mu president ke kenene nti mu ma kwame Muhammad Adam ene mahu o fa mamu akwai say zebera odi obika na me dan uka obika sin papa che me mo no na we de o shimegufu ene wo fa nche no wonje wonko ye adwuma no na wonje na adekoma yesi ye ni MP onhwe no ma ye MP sika na se me je mfi kikire no onje bi no fa ma won we je papa wo yes next answer
okay
Mahama ke na ye be si ima we ama won woto nyema ne nyina hwe ye ka kire mu si mamu ntu aba ma san kofu we ne Mahama si 4 years die kwa me on me fembu o man aso de me ya say yare na ye ya ni yare na take the franka want na fi ye for one chopa you see o say entity fu na ehyechi o mani ewu
she me da say hello good evening
good
yes chiba chenko
okay me ka say egu akwa no new trafo achim
okay pa che fro say
me the sy
yanko
echia ye MP pa Buffalo egu akwa no any MPP fo nara se pa ura de wo ne say pa hu ni akoso driver for say wo hu GPRT for NDC for be shemwechi ɛna ɛyɛ muntu yɛbɛto ɛna moatia to abade ama wo ɛna sese ɔde yɛ mo afei na musu nurses moagye allowance moasan bɛgyina yɛn yɛade yɛnto yɛbɛto atia mu fine woato atia wo ho enti sese ɔman no a yɛwɔ mu no ahokyerɛ no afei na ɛbɛba wo wedeɛ yɛ comedy when mo ba so mo bɛtɛsika wo wode hwɛ mmantie yɛ abɛyɛ wɔn kasa ɛkyɛ mpanyinfo ɛyɛ mpanyinfo wode wɔn bɛkɔ no hwɛ mansions ne nyama a wɔn ɛbɛnya akɔ ansa na wɔn akɔ wɔn sika na wɔn ba bɛpɛ yɛ si ɔman no ho den na wɔn brɛ manuasi obi ntwa
meso so me da so papa hello good evening oh too bad one so ntimi anyina so ma memfa last 2 calls na fe yamfa Freddy Manensi okay hello good evening.
Good evening, Nsempera.
Bye, ma.
Na ni me kasa fitashi.
Pacho yanko e.
Me pacho SML asem no na me pese me kan.
Okay.
Me junior sister oye juma wo ho.
Okay.
Wo osu ho. Trauma wo mu di mi omo afamu wo juma no mu last Tuesday no. Me nua no ya be serious.
Hey.
From morning 10 they got there. No water. Everybody was in their office, just like that. From Tuesday, better say
hey.
Sana yadi.
And a nurse phones na strike you.
Me patrosi.
And a nurse phones na strike.
Almost strike. Mimiano, ya ma mimi ya papa wo jaye kiti. And see ya sama no man. Me and the me call so cemetery. I call swan go me mammy me papa so. A dear ebe ye OSP. Obenu ni who were yasi. A son said Miniano, or no, or ye juma, Emma ye, na yen so ye nyaka cried.
On your bonnet, one more chrono, ye only an uncle we had ye, one coyer may call juma back again.
Staff at SML Osu. The trauma my sister has passed through from Tuesday, that man, I leave him to God. Bye-bye.
Bye, may I say. Last caller, hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Oh, Chief.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Evening, Metonka Kasayanko.
Good evening, Openi.
Yes, sir, Chief Metonka.
Wadaroma, Midani Peter, Mdodu, Atuzu Quit, Kumasi. Na, Edika Mamentia, Iwa Jombodu, Besha Chamaya, Yadeneba, Nona, Dr. Mahmoud of Nyantumentiano, Oba Kantimemuntua, Iwa Chamoden Kwapia, Ame Lawyer Jatin Kudia Frampong. Na operating the American say no question nurses asema nurse for na yetan the omopa no monsa kano the omopa and no monsa kano ni nyina ne say nanado edi alawaba ya wode ma mo no mokwaje say mo tu de tia no jabes nzonzonzo aje ombo de ye beto ba dale zo na ya tutufu em enti no ye nto aba ye say enne yiwa mama bae ena wade saa dumfe levi ya baba beto so a enne drivers enne woma coffee station coffee le wo cars ina etia okay na area zempe for say wa ma wo yonko ntwa kwa ozu ntwa nu da am de make can say denia 2028 ebeba enfumso agana for eye enfumso agana for eye tia NPP aban no me give say omo behwe na omo asesa normal eniye na me de minim se kwan bia so no oman no yebetima GS baabi a o se yegisi na ngopon ka anwo pani
ka so me da aspa papa me de course na cement me for bia biom Duncan 1 minute na fe
Nsempera papa bia oka bakosem e no say omo sha se omo chiche nkrofo no omo chi Democrat na me menye Democrat inti mankabi omo fi ne so no ana mo kwache the Republican na menya Republican
tienso mankabi
tienso mankabi
efiri honom no
na mo call socialist so na me so menya socialist mankabi efi ni so no mo call capitalist so na menya capitalist
tienso mankabi
enti mankabi omo cheche sa nkofo nyina mankabi esanse na me ni omo ye bobre ense
na ne refisi eso koto sa aboa ne koto nua nso akache sa aboa
sori yeso na omo chi omo nyina wie no last time omo ba e be chi no na ohwe ne nchen sa obi abeji ho but no obi ani ho beji no nti Ghana for a driver for yenuanom nurse for yenuanom teacher for Ghana for nyina yen kan yen humbom na yen fe ye senchire aban se anamo a oni yetu ye ni nje ho nsempawura NDC amamu ombeja maye no na economy ni grew at 3.4%, ye de call 5.7%. na nursing training allowance so matwam ye restore ye teacher training allowance so matwam ye restore ye na teacher ni ye adwuma omutu ya 3 months ye tua full salary. Hospitals na omunsi bebre ye si agenda 111 school building ye si bebre na school dan bebre asay afa school feeding program na asay kra ye be shemu kana fuel shortage 2016 ko di lines ansa na wanya fuel ye ma fuel obi akọ filling station nya bi ambulance na dia Ghana war 50 yem brea ye nya independence ye 57 ye to mako 302 NHIS ye gunugu sonsa ye san be shemu kena dum so etiatese ye san ebe so kania enyinam kania mu afi ya kwan be ya kwan bebre national ID card ye be ye okay. NDC amamu a ye jama omo no ye expect say in 2029 ye be san back no we will see a better economy and okay. not that economy a ye be medimanu si no maminchia madam for Tenkaro Asario say the former NUX president, National Union of Ghana Students president, Michiana Nenyumepa.
I say, listening to you live from Koforidia. Good evening, Dr. Boy. Doc, Major Evo, 30 seconds. Yo,
Sampara, Midasi. Sampara, mi pese mi fa assembly two drivers in Yina won't transfer Ghana. Share yet Ghana ha. Emma black fubira omu yo mu so wono mu kasama drivers and omu way mi pesa mi bisa say ya bema owo yifa brat be a friend Pawili one will say drivers for sa nipa we no mi ka we no omu ye de no mo pe o enne ye ba ye omu nya ba bi kotrasi ya bema kana no atum ye de drivers nyina na sempa mi wie nu yesi mpenifo bu ababi say unkata otiri so a ye twa otiri so boni sa abere no mu ka no
omu say unkata de
osi unkata otiri so ye twa oti o se
wankasa otiri ho a ana o se de unkata otiri so a ana aso she helmet
mesre se eye MPP fu penifo esre eye minuanu ma ye free radio callers testers any grassroots for omo mani asin call because se power na ye kasai eye communication minister o se hwan no oni we for na koye ba ko ene omo di 10% asa be kan ade na ye data na ye to no di 10%. And I bedu baby Ghana ni bi atimi kasa already en kasa wo Ghana because data ne kra ye to ye timi to enso ene NDC ba ye
data no to obenya bebre
entinu ye be sere se ye nuanom a ye kasa ma party no testers callers ni grassroots for ye sere mo mamu ni because mi tra ha sesi ai mi kasa na baby a mi tra se mi ko obi amwa ye adwuma ye ma party we obi amwa ye eto do bi na ye din enti ye be sere say
mo association
we see
mo association
ye wa association
MPP Texas Nicholas Mo Association.
Ye was association.
One name of president.
Eastern
region de say chairman kuli na wo.
KB no ye penny.
KB o one kan ha.
Oh, adenta ha ya. Ba obi amwa ye. Nti ye be sere penny funu ko. To bi ya ye deeper na mi bisa o se para. Nti sofufu no mutra ha no. Any professors bi no mutra ga eno mo Ghana ha. Ye nuanu krobo for kasem bi o ti ka ko yofia o ma na ko ofitom
ka ko yofia
o ma na ko ofitom
busiati na ha na ye di adom ye ne a ochano pa besa so anyway shia ewo the dialogue show so and ochano pa ewo net2 TV so nti shia ochano pa ewo the dialogue show na ye mfa nkomo aka no enyina emfa emra ochano pa komo ho no ma ye behwe ne ye di ne kama pa media den sempera imana mate me do wasi makrao. Bye-bye.